Team Japspeed now been in drifting for 12 years, and in the past, at the very beginning, the team and drivers have run different types of tyres, different makes of tyres, and 6 years ago we landed the Maxxis partnership. Since then we've not looked back. The tyre performs better than any other tyre we've ever driven on. It wears well, the smoke is amazing for the crowd. It's a great tyre for drifting. Since we've been with Maxxis, we've had quite a lot of success. So we've had 2 Drivers' Championships on that tyre and 2 Team Constructors' Championships on that tyre as well in a short period.
We as Team Japspeed, we've been on the podium more times than not, I would say. Certainly when it comes to the Constructors' Championship. Why? It's down to our tyres.
So before each round, you've got to prepare the cars. So you go with the initial test, so you've got to Spanish check the cars, a visual check on all components, run the car up and down, listen for any issues, faults, knocks in the engine. You then check all fluids, all fluid levels, engine oil, brakes, clutch, diff, gearbox, check for leaks. And then you've got to check your alignment, reset your alignment. Each track requires a slightly different alignment as well, so every round gets a tweak. We also corner weight the cars, so you can see what mass is on each corner with the amount of fuel for that event. A good drift tyre has got to give you a lot of grip, contrary to popular belief, so you've got to have enough grip to push the car forward effectively. Even though they're spinning, it's not like driving on ice. You do need grip to go as fast as possible around the corner whilst drifting.
Grip level is the main thing. You know, when we first started out, it was, the grip level wasn't really there, you know, the speed wasn't there, but now we've got the grip, so we can go in 20, 30 miles an hour faster than what we were doing 4 or 5 years ago.
A drift tyre, you know, you want it to be a soft compound, mostly directional, you get the most tread down.
You also need a good amount of wear, so you don't want a drift tyre to be fully worn out in one lap, because you've got to at least do 2 per set, otherwise you'd have to brake between every single battle.
I think in a drift tyre what you actually want is confidence. There's nothing worse than getting into a car, not knowing what your tyre's not going to do. So when you've kind of, especially me as a driver anyway, have been with a long relationship with Maxxis, we know what our tyre is, we know what to expect, we know how far we can push that tyre and how much power we can run through that tyre. So
drift setup in the drive, we have roughly between 20 and 18 psi in the tyres in the rear, and we run about 20 to 22 psi in the front tyres. We also run the suspension fairly stiff in the dry. Because it's dry, you can put a lot more grip through the tyre, it can handle a lot more load transfer, so you can run a stiffer setup. We also run quite a stiff anti-roll bar setting. So in wet conditions, we tend to change things a little bit. So tyre pressures run a bit lower in the rear and in the front. We also soften off the dampers on the cars, because it's wet you can't transfer as much grip to the ground, so you've got to let the car move around a bit more.
Tyre choice is probably the most important thing nowadays in drifting.
And what you want to get into that car and be confident, you know what your tyre is doing, lap after lap. Everything is going to be consistency. The consistency through your tyre is so important, and that's what I look for personally.
Maxxis have been fantastic support over the 6-7 years that they've been sponsoring the team. We couldn't ask for anything better.